What is going on, Raider Nation? It is JT coming at you with another breaking news episode of the Raider Cast, your podcast for everything silver and black. Now, today they released the injury reports going into week 2 of the 2022 NFL season. So we knew about some of the injuries going into this week. We heard about, Andre James' concussion, Anthony Averett, he's going to IR, stuff like that. But I want to go over, my thoughts on each of the injuries that were listed for both the Cardinals and the Raiders, talk about any sort of transactions that happened, etc., etc. So to start off, I'm going to talk about just the transactions that happened. So DJ Turner was put on IR, I believe, and you have Keelan Cole coming up to the 53-man roster. Now, it was obviously more of a surprise cut in a way when Keelan Cole was cut way back when, but he never found his way to another roster, and we brought him back to the practice squad, which I thought was an excellent idea, just for situations just like this, where we lose DJ Turner to an ankle injury already to IR for at least 4 weeks. He's joining Anthony Averett as another recent IR candidate, so we'll be out DJ Turner and Anthony Averett for the next 4 weeks, which is why we brought up Keelan Cole to the 53-man roster. This move does not really affect the Raiders too much in terms of really anything. DJ Turner was mostly just a return man, and we have backups so that we have Amir Abdullah and Hunter Renfrow to do returns, and I'm sure other players like Tyron Johnson and stuff like that, T-Billy, can do that for the team as well. But it's kind of not great to see Anthony Averett go to that IR, as we are already, he was our starter, cornerback, and we now only have Nate Hobbs and Rock Ya-Sin as our outside corners, so we had to bring in help, and we officially signed Nickell, Robey-Coleman, and Billy Price to the practice squad as well. Those were talked about yesterday, so I'm not going to touch too much on them, but I'm now going to talk about the actual injury reports. So first, I'm going to talk about Las Vegas. The players on IR, there is 5 players. Brandon Bolden, he's out with a hamstring for right now. He did not participate in today's practice. Corner Nate Hobbs had a back injury, but he was a full participant, so I'm assuming that's just a you have to write it down type of thing, and it's not really a concern at all. Andre James, who's obviously our starter center, has a concussion and did not participate in today's practice. You have Tre'von Moehrig, safety. He's out with a hip injury, did not participate, and I shouldn't say out, but did not participate in today's practice. And then Denzel Perryman has an ankle injury and also did not participate. So talking about Brandon Bolden, what this tells me is if it is something serious, which I believe Malone on Twitter, if you saw his stuff, at this point you gotta trust him. He has some, I guess, pretty good sources. Talked about how Brandon Bolden might miss a week or 2 with his hamstring injury. Obviously, he's also older, so it might even be longer than that. So we should definitely see more Zamir White. We should definitely see more Britton Brown involved. Amir Abdullah, Josh Jacobs will all get the carries. Brandon Bolden only got 2 carries last week, and Josh Jacobs only got 10. But I expect us to run the ball more, especially use the rookies that I think had played a pretty good preseason. It's not a super big effect on the Raiders in terms of performance, as there's a reason why we kept Britton Brown on the 53 and Zamir White and stuff like that. So I'm not super worried about this injury. This is I want him to get better, obviously, but it's not the end of the world that we're missing Brandon Bolden for right now. The next injury that I'm going to talk about that was did not participate in today's practice, so I'm not going to talk about Nate Hobbs because I'm pretty sure just a nothing injury, is Andre James, who's out with a concussion. So obviously concussion protocol varies, depends on the severity and stuff like that. So him not participating in practice, it could lead him to not playing at all on Sunday, which in my opinion would mean that we either use Dylan Parham at center or we continue to work with actually that does tell me that Dylan Parham would play at center, keep Cotton at right guard, and keep John Simpson at left guard. But what it also tells me is that if they think it'll be a long-term concussion protocol type of thing, then it's definitely Billy Price who might be working his way up to that starter center role, or at least a backup center role, and make the 53 in terms of like that. If Andre James has to go, in long-term, PUP list or anything like that. So it's definitely a sucks to see type of thing because he is our starting center, and you don't really want to see a rookie be playing in that position. But on the other hand, Parham's a really damn good rookie and was one of the highest graded offensive linemen of last week, top 5 actually by PFF. And he actually played a really good game just in general in the limited snaps that he did get. So I'm not super worried about him having to come in and play center, as he was working at that position in the offseason. So it's not like he's going in cold turkey. He's going in at a position that he's worked at least a little bit in the preseason, which is good. Hopefully we don't see Andre James out for long, but if we do, I have full confidence in Dylan Parham to pick up where Andre James left off if he is out for a game or two. The next one is Tre'von Moehrig, who's out with a hip injury, and according to Malone on Twitter, this is a hip point injury, which could be anywhere between 1 and 3 weeks being out. Obviously, it's not official yet, but hip injuries are definitely not good because that's a pretty important part of a person's body, especially bone wise. So he did not participate today. I honestly don't expect him to play. This is not like me saying this is an official thing. I'm just suspecting he does not play on Sunday, because you don't want to exactly rush him back to playing, especially since Ron Harmon and Jonathan Abram had the pretty damn good games that they did, and you have Derek Teamer and Isaiah Palomau backing them up as well, who Teamer played meh, but again, Ron Harmon should be a pretty damn good free safety. He's a pretty solid free safety, and then Jonathan Abram played really well at the strong safety position, so I have full confidence in our safety right now. If Murray does have to miss this week, I'd rather him rest up and rely on Harmon and Abram to pick up where Murray left off, than rush him back and get him more injured and end up not having him for an even longer period of time. And the last player is Denzel Perryman, who has an ankle injury. He did not participate today. However, it's a day-to-day injury, which is very much a positive thing, because if it wasn't day-to-day, obviously that means he might be out for Sunday. But since it's day-to-day, I'm almost confident he does play Sunday, which is great for our defense because he's definitely a big part of our defense, big part of our run-stopping defense, run game defense especially. But yeah, him being out for today is not a huge deal, especially since it was reported by Vinny Bonsignore that it is a day-to-day injury. Now moving on to what the Cardinals have for their injury report. There was a couple NIRs. You have Kelvin Beachum, their right tackle, I believe, and Rodney Hudson doing non-injury related rest, which is whatever. Zach Ertz, calf, did not participate. Rondale Moore, again, did not participate. J.J. Watt, again, did not participate. Trayvon Mullen, limited participation. Those are the big ones, in my opinion, Rondale Moore and J.J. Watt. They might play. They might just take another extra day just to rest, and they might end up being a full go by Sunday, because I'm not really super following, the Cardinals super closely. However, and also Andy Isabella also did not participate, so it seems like there's a good amount of did not participate. However, it'll be more telling by Friday whether or not they play, because again, if they're not participating by practice time Friday, it's very doubtful that they actually play on Sunday. So if J.J. Watt and Rondale Moore are out again, on top of DeAndre Hopkins being out because of PED suspension, that would be a big boost in terms of the Raiders' probability of winning that game. J.J. Watt not being on that D-line reared its ugly head for the Arizona Cardinals versus the Chiefs. Not only were they playing a pretty good Chiefs O-line, and obviously Mahomes being Mahomes, they don't have anyone besides. They didn't really have anyone on that D-line that's can do much without J.J. Watt being there. Even though he is old, he's still a playmaker at the defensive end, or outside linebacker, defensive tackle, wherever he is position. And then Rondale Moore is their best wide receiver other than Marquise Brown right now. That's not suspended. So if he's out, that means we really don't have to worry about Marquise Brown, who I'm not really scared by at all. And then beyond that, I mean, if Zach Ertz again does not participate in practice by Friday, that's another huge weapon out. And honestly, their offense is looking very not good. But yeah, I mean, I will have to see by Friday. I'll definitely post out something in my preview episode if they aren't participating by Friday, and take that into account when I talk about that. But that's the injury reports for now, for today, Wednesday, week 2, the first injury reports of the week. Let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about the injuries that the Raiders are suffering right now, how you feel about the Cardinals and where they're at with their injuries and stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I hope you guys had an absolutely wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. Peace out, Raider Nation.